welcome back to the CoolFigurez channel. I'm your host, Jetta the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector. The information on the channel is intended for adult collectors and not children. And welcome to episode 27 of Coffee and Toys here on the CoolFigurez channel. So much to go into this week, guys. I do want to apologize for not posting last week's episode on time. I'll definitely go into all that into more detail in this episode. Stuff to talk about this week's episode of Coffee and Toys Live, plus future episodes of Coffee and Toys Live, this week's toy haul, this week's toy news, and so much more. So stay tuned. But first, if you're new, then welcome. This channel is all about cool action figures, analyzing them, hunching them, taking pics of them, and of course, playing with them. If that's your sort of thing, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, go ahead and hit that bell notification icon so you stay notified when I do upload new content. And if you do enjoy this video or any other videos that I put out, please remember to give them a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. With all of that out of the way, guys, once again, welcome to episode 27 of Coffee and Toys here on the CoolFigurez channel. Once again, guys, I do want to first off apologize for not getting last week's episode up on time. I recently got a new phone, and instead of trading in my other one, I figured since I'm doing all this YouTube stuff, I'd rather have two phones so that way I have two cameras and I can use one to edit, one to film. And so I figured I'd film on my new phone since obviously the camera would be better, and then I'd try to airdrop it to my older phone and then edit and export there. Unfortunately, it didn't work out so well, and I had to re-edit a almost 3-hour podcast, which essentially took me 6 hours the first time to edit, so I was in no rush at all to re-edit that thing. So I do apologize, but by the time this one's up, that one should have gone up already, and hopefully you guys have seen it. If not, go ahead and check it out, because my review, non-spoiler and spoiler, of the new Batman movie is in that episode. So go ahead and check it out if you have seen that movie. I highly recommend you checking it out, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below and in that video's comments as well. The next thing I do want to say, guys, is thank you so much to each and every single one of you that have followed me over on Instagram at CoolFigurez. I recently hit 1,000 followers, so thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. If you guys do enjoy that toy photography, you guys want to see a more dedicated, more edited, more thought out page dedicated to toy photography, follow me over on Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. That's where I post all those kinds of shots where it's not like quick review pics and stuff. I put more thought into it. I put a little more effort and whatnot. So go ahead and check me out over at Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. And if you guys want to see all the unboxings that I do for my figures, check me out at TikTok at CoolFigurez. And of course, thank you so much to the 670 of you that have hit subscribe here on YouTube. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, if you haven't already, follow me over on all those and hit subscribe here. And yeah, guys, like I always say, thank you so much, because if it wasn't for you guys, I'd just be a grown man talking to myself about toys. So thank you so much. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on into this week's Coffee and Toys Live news. So this week I got to speak to 1/6 Shooter, the great toy photographer himself, and I had a great conversation, not only about toys, but also the new Batman movie. That was also fun. But toy photography, guys, I learned so much from him, and he offers so much great advice to those of you that are either beginning in toy photography or thinking about doing toy photography. You know, he gives a lot of great advice, or even those of you that are in toy photography and are somewhat intermediate, or even if you're advanced, you can always learn from another great toy photographer, much like 1/6 Shooter. So I really enjoyed that conversation. It's going to be one of the few conversations that I actually go and rewatch so I can retake notes and learn those tips and tricks that he kind of gave during that conversation. So yeah, guys, with that being said, next week I will be talking to Sir Dork about his Toy Photography Con, the first of its kind, being held, I believe, June 18th, 2022 in the New Jersey, New York area. Once again, I always forget to look up the area, but it's in that kind of vicinity and whatnot. So I'll be talking to him all about it. I'm sure he'll give us all that info during that conversation. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out this week's Coffee and Toys Live. I don't know what time exactly, but it will be on Wednesday, as all Coffee and Toys Lives are. So after that, I do have the rescheduled interview for Coffee and Toys Live with Scott Knightlick of Spectre Creative YouTube channel and also corporation. You know, he has a company that kind of helps companies that have toys make them more toyetic and more appealing to kids, so that they can sell more and whatnot, because he has 25 plus years of experience in the toy industry, guys. He's worked for Jetta Toys, Spin Master, Mattel. That was like, there's another key one that he worked for, and it was Mattel. He helped start Matty Collector and all that. So super excited to talk to him. Super excited to learn all about the behind the scenes, even more so. I always have fun talking to different people in this industry, whether it's a toy photographer, a toy collector, or somebody that's actually worked in the industry or is currently working in the industry, much like I did with Zach Oath of Diamond Select. If you haven't seen that already, check episode 25 of Coffee and Toys, and that's where you'll find that interview. He's the marketing director or marketing manager of Diamond Select Toys, so definitely go ahead and check that out. But yeah, guys, I have fun speaking to all types of these people. It's so intriguing and awesome, and I'm so humbled and honored that they agree to come and speak to me. Like I always say, being a smaller channel, being a smaller page, but all it takes is just reaching out. And I've learned that in this community, more than not, you're gonna get a yes. People are very nice in this community, and they want to talk, they want to connect with other people in the community, and they want to engage with their audience. So I'm finding that you're going to get more yeses than nos in this industry if you're nice and you approach properly and respectfully and whatnot. So super excited to talk to him. And then after him, I will be speaking to Rocco the Great, one of the first toy YouTubers that I first started watching when I started getting back into collecting and everything. And so super excited to talk to him. After that though, guys, I have nothing planned. I have no current guest planned after him. So if you guys have anybody you guys would like to see on Coffee and Toys Live, please let me know down in the comments below, or DM me at CoolFigurez who you would like to see on Coffee and Toys Live, and I will try my best to get them on the show. So like I said, guys, this week's guest was 1/6 Shooters, so stay tuned for that interview at the end of this podcast. With that being said, why don't we go ahead and take a look at this week's toy haul. So we did see two of these things on the table last week. However, I didn't open them up, so I did warn you guys that they would make an appearance back on this table since I hadn't opened them up yet, and they're still considered new to me, in terms of like a new toy haul. That being the Batman Jim Gordon figure. Yes, I know that is not technically the Batman Jim Gordon figure, but it's Jeffrey Wright. He's in a suit, and all I have to do is paint the beard the same colors as the skin and leave the mustache part, and he will be a perfect representation of Gordon from the movie. Because if you didn't know, McFarlane did an interview with somebody on Instagram, and he said that he doesn't like to do the basic, boring, regular characters because they don't sell well to younger audiences. Unlike Batman, Superman, or dinosaurs, like he said, So he has no intentions of giving us a Jim Gordon, and I absolutely love Jeffrey Wright, and I absolutely loved Jeffrey Wright as Gordon in this past Batman film. So I definitely needed a Gordon for my shelf. So if you want a Gordon for your shelf, definitely go ahead and check out the Bernard Lowe Diamond Select figure. That's what this one is. The gun does not come with them. However, he does come with 2 trigger finger hands, but I did have an extra gun from one of my John Wick figures, and so that's why I went ahead and handed him that pistol. The next thing that we have on this table that was here last week that I told you wouldn't make an appearance because it wasn't open is the new Drifter bike from McFarlane Toys. Oh wait, I forgot to pick him up. Get you guys a nice close-up so you guys can see. Not too bad, right, for Jim Gordon? I think, like I said, once I paint the beard and leave the mustache, it will look pretty damn good. So yeah, like I said, next up we are looking at the McFarlane Drifter bike, and we do have the McFarlane Drifter Bruce on the bike as well. After seeing the film, I went crazy and wanting all the figures after not wanting any of the figures at all besides Batman and Riddler from the start. But yeah, so I went ahead and picked up the Target exclusive unmasked Drifter Bruce Wayne figure, but I also went ahead and picked up the masked Drifter Bruce Wayne, and I have to shout out and thank my friend Robert for not only finding me this, but also customizing it by painting the eyes straight, weathering the backpack, and adding that nice little Nirvana pin on the backpack. So shout out and thank you to him for doing that little bit of customization to this figure, and it definitely improves it. I'm going to go ahead and pull the Drifter one here so that way you can see the difference in the backpacks and see, what he did versus what it comes. So this was the stock, this is the custom. And like I said, he did paint the eye straight, so shout out to him for that. I'm going to have to give him the rest of my Batman figures so that he can do that and fix them. So yeah, I do have a pair of binoculars that I want to put in his hands, so to recreate the scene where he's watching Catwoman through the window with the binoculars. This one's going to stay on the bike. I want a unmasked Bruce, but I think I'm going to go with buying another regular Batman and just taking that head off and putting the Drifter Unmasked Bruce head sculpt on that, because I don't get what McFarlane was trying to do, because with his unmasked figure, he has the cowl draped back like it's a hood. However, when you watch the movie, it's more of a helmet type where he takes it off. You know what I mean? So he wouldn't have the cowl draped back. So I feel like the more accurate portrayal would be to buy just a regular Batman figure, pop the Batman cowl head off, and pop the unmasked Drifter Bruce Wayne head on. Because honestly, the unmasked Drifter Bruce Wayne head doesn't look too bad if you can find the good one out of the stack at your local Target. So that's my tip if you want a more accurate unmasked Batman for your collection. I think that's definitely the route I'm going to go. But of course, I couldn't resist also getting the Penguin. And the accessories that he is holding are not stock to the figure. This is a Mezco case, and this is from a NECA figure. So he does use that gun in the movie, but obviously he doesn't come with it in the box because DC mandates and whatnot. However, if you look at the box and the card that he comes with, he does have an umbrella in his hand, and there was no umbrella to be seen in the packaging. Like, you can't give us guns, I understand that, but you can't give us a signature umbrella? That was a real missed opportunity right there on Todd's part. But yeah, so I ended up spicing him up, giving him a submachine gun, giving him a briefcase full of money and stuff. And so that's how he's displayed on my shelf. So yeah, guys, basically the only one I'm missing now is the unmasked Batman. But like I said, I'm going to have to do that custom. I'm not going to get the unmasked Selina Kyle. It doesn't look that good to me. So I'm happy with my masked Catwoman figure. She's a perfect iteration and display piece for my display. So yeah, but super excited about getting all these. Can't wait till my friend Robert paints the eyes straight, because that's just my biggest gripe with DC figures at the moment. So especially with these ones need their eyes straight, especially Batman. I'm working on getting a wired cape for my Batman figure. I want to pop off the plastic one and put the wired cape on that. And also, if you guys want fisted hands for your Batman, you can buy them online. I'm sure people would 3D print them. But if you have the Bat Cycle and you have the Batman, you have two secret pans, what you want to do is get a blow dryer and heat those fuckers up. And I mean heat them up till they're jelly soft. And then when they're jelly soft, clench them up. So you're going to do this one by one. You're not going to do them both at a time. You're going to clench and hold it and just let it dry or cool. And if you really want, put some super glue or Gorilla Glue in there and then crunch it up. And I guarantee you, you'll have a fisted hand. Now you won't have any secret pans, but at least your Batman, which should have come with fisted hands, will have some fisted hands. So it's not like they fit that well on the bikes anyways. I mean, they look okay. I feel like those bikes fit better for Mezco figures and figures that have better articulation when it comes to sitting on things. But yeah, if you want a Batman with fisted hands, that's one way you can do it. So yeah, that's it in terms of the Batman haul. But this guy also happened to show up. I totally forgot that I pre-ordered him from Amazon when he randomly popped up for order, and it is the new Black Series Jetta Patrol Stormtrooper. Now, while I normally get a load of these when they come out because I love army building, I only needed one of these guys because he's basically just a stormtrooper leader, because I would buy more into the story of him being a Jetta Patrol trooper if he was all dusty and dirty and everything. But with him being shiny and looking new and everything, I just feel like he's just better suited to be a leader for my stormtroopers. You know, I'll take the backpack off, give him a regular blaster, and there you go. And I'll probably just end up using the backpack as fodder and backgrounds and stuff for my space set and whatnot, or putting it on another character. Who knows? The sky's the limit with that. But yeah, so I basically just got him because I needed a leader or a designated leader for my Stormtrooper squad. And this one comes with the orange pauldron, so that's exactly why I got him. So yeah, guys, but still super cool. I mean, he is utilizing the new Stormtrooper body, which I'm super happy that they didn't go back and reuse the old one, because for some odd reason, Hasbro's doing that with the Boba Fett. They're reusing the old Boba Fett body for new stuff when they have a brand new one that they probably spent a lot of money on that would basically serve them better and work out better. But you know, I don't work at Hasbro, so that's not my job. So yeah, so that's basically it in terms of this week's toy haul. We do have an unboxing right here. We will go over it at the end of this portion of the podcast. It is from my little stash of old school I wouldn't say vintage. Well, I guess they are vintage now, but the early thousands Star Wars figures that I got from my uncle. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that at the end of this video. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and move on into this week's toy news. But first, thank you to our sponsor, V-Rare Store. Check them out for all your Funko Pop, anime, and Pokemon card needs. And always $5 flat rate shipping on all Funko Pops. Use code CoolFigurez at checkout for 10% off your order. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and start off with my favorite brand, Mezco. And of course, you guys probably knew this was coming, the Batman. So a few weeks ago for Toy Fair 2022, they did tease images of their new The Batman 1/12 collective figure from the new movie. And this week it went up for pre-order. $125, due out February to April 2023. I built it up in my mind. This was on me. I was like, you know what? They're going to want to execute on the hype. They're going to make it a buy now product. So I kind of built it up in my mind. I was hoping it was going to be a buy now product, but we're going to have to wait a year, which I'm not complaining because Mezco puts out phenomenal stuff. And if that means waiting a year to save up and, you know, get an amazing The Batman figure, that's what I'm willing to do. Me personally, I built it up in my head. I was expecting it to be a buy now product, and that's where my letdown came from. So it was all on me on that. However, the figure itself does look amazing. The unmasked Bruce Wayne head looks amazing, which is incredible because a lot of people did not think we were going to get an unmasked Bruce Wayne head with it because, for good reason, because if you look back at the previous movie Batman iterations that we've gotten or are waiting for, they don't come with unmasked Bruce Wayne head sculpts, you know. The Justice League one doesn't come with the Bruce Wayne head sculpt, and of course the Batman 89 doesn't come with the unmasked Bruce Wayne head sculpt. So there were quite a few people that weren't sure if this one was going to come with it, and thankfully it does. It comes with a total of, I think, 4 head sculpts. The one that it comes on the body, plus 2 other Batman head sculpts, plus the unmasked Bruce Wayne head sculpt, and a cowl that can be held in the hands, as it states in the info. So super excited about that. This is not an exclusive, so you can use your Mezco points if you have points, as well as pre-order it elsewhere. So if you want to put down the Mezco deposit is $31. The Big Bad Toy Store deposit is $11. No deposit down is Entertainment Earth and Dorkside. So those are your options. I went with Dorkside, no deposit down, free shipping. So, oh yeah, they do free shipping on that product too. So I'd say go with Dorkside because you're going to be waiting as long as you put some money aside. And I'm sure eventually you can just pay it off from them if you have it before, you know, it's ready and whatnot. So the thing that caught everybody's eye, though, with this figure is the fact that, much like the Hot Toy, he was pictured next to a bat signal that scales with the figures. So the key question is, are we going to get this bat signal packed in with this Batman as a surprise? Or is it going to be its own separate release at a later date through Mezco's, you know, exclusive site, and that being the Mezco exclusive thing, you know? So I really want to know because I want to either put my money down for the Hot Toys one, but if Mezco comes out with one, maybe I'll just get both, you know. But I mean, the Mezco one better not be $160 because the Hot Toys one is $160. So the Mezco one better be like $75 in my opinion, but we'll see what happens there if they even release it. So we'll have to wait and see. So if you are a Slugfest Emporium or a Rumble Society fan and you happen to have gotten Atticus Doom, you would have seen the new ads in that comic book. I did not get that figure, so I have not seen the comics. I have not read the comics, but I have seen a few things that were in the comics. So spoilers, the first ones aren't too many spoilers. It's just the ad page that are new and stuff. I'll really warn you about the spoilers. So the first ad is some new magic effects for Atticus Doom. Some new skulls and a new Baker's Dozen. So those should be coming up March 18th because Mezco did release something saying come back to our website March 18th. So a lot of people are assuming that that's what they're going to release and drop. And now moving on into the spoilers from the comic books of Atticus Doom, they did show off images of 2 new potential variants of a Rumble Society figure, and they are of my favorite Rumble Society figure, the man, the myth, the legend, Doc Knox. So they did hint and tease at a potential Western Doc Nocturnal and a space Doc Nocturnal. If I can find the images online, I will post them up here so that way you guys can see them as well. But yeah, super excited about that. It's funny because me and my friend Robert were just talking about wanting like a Western Gomez, and here they come with a Western Doc Nock, and it's like, why didn't I think of that? Doc Nock skull face with a bandana and a fucking cowboy hat. Oh man, that Mezco, make it a reality. I'm already ready. Where's my wallet? Seriously, where's my wallet? Mezco, I will read you my credit card numbers right now because I am excited about that. The space one looks cool as well, but I'm definitely excited for that Western Doc Nock. So that's a little bit of a hint and tease out what's to come. Like I said, nothing official at all. These are just stuff in the comic books, and usually stuff that they show in the comic books do happen to come true and come to fruition. However, it's only a matter of when, because Atticus Doom was teased, I believe, to be coming soon at Hawk P40's comic. At the end, it says Atticus Doom coming soon, and we barely got him now. You know, Hawk P40, I think, was an early 2021 release or late 2022 release, or I'm sorry, late 2020 release. So, you know, we don't know when we're going to be getting this, but hopefully sooner rather than later. So that is it when it comes to Mezco news. So before we move on to the next bit of news, thank you so much to Old School Labs for helping sponsor this video as well. Check them out over on Amazon, Old School Labs supplements, and use code JesseM12 at checkout for 12% off your order. Also, thank you so much to Raise Energy for sponsoring this video as well. Check them out over at raiseenergy.com and use code THEBAT for 10% off your order. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on into McFarlane news. So they did release 3 new figures for solicitation and tease this week. The first one being Hush, and it's a very lazy attempt, let's be honest. I mean, if we look back at the old Mattel version, it's a very lazy attempt. He totally closed the trench coat for 2 reasons. 1, it's less sculpting, and 2, variants. I guarantee you the Chase variant is going to be the one with the open trench coat, and it's like, really, that's the one that everybody's going to want, and yet I guarantee you he's going to make that one the Chase, or if he doesn't, he's just going to make it a GameStop exclusive or a Walmart exclusive, or just hell, just another variant, much like we've seen through, you know, the whole DC multiverse line. So be aware, he's probably going to release another version of Hush that, you know, comes with the trench coat open, and you can actually see his actual uniform or outfit that he wears in the comics and whatnot. But until then, you have this offering, and much like everything else DC right now, he doesn't come with his twin pistols, he comes with his dual knives. So yeah, there's that too. Next up, he did show off images of Grifter. This is a character that I have very little knowledge of. I've only seen him every once in a while, here and there, I believe, in like animated movies and whatnot. So don't know too much about him, but yeah, if you want him, he's going up for pre-order. Although I do know he uses 2 pistols as well, and much like Hush, he does not come with it. Rather, he comes with twin blades. So yeah. And last but not least, today, right before I started filming, he did release images of Jonathan Kent. Now, really, I think the only good Superman figure he's put out to this date is either the Dark Knight Returns one because of its accuracy, or the regular Superman, just like the plain old Superman, you know, that we got in that Doomsday versus Superman, or the Batman Earth 2 Superman pack. All the other ones have been butt ugly, and this one is no exception. You know, this one just looks god-awful, and I mean, I'm sorry if you enjoy that interpretation of him, but it just looks, the head looks just way too big for the body, first off. The wrist joints just stand out so much, which they do on all McFarlane figures. I can't, you know, you can't really say that. I mean, not too bad on these ones because they wear jackets and whatnot, but for the most part, you really do see those ball joints on the majority of McFarlane figures. But I don't know, his Superman figures just always look so bad to me. They just always do. But that's just me. If that's your cup of coffee, he's coming out for pre-order soon. So next up, let's go ahead and talk about a third-party company, Maestro Union. A few episodes ago, I did speak about a 1/12 scale Leatherface / Killer Croc figure. And like I said, it is by a third-party company, Maestro Union. 1/12 Fury Planet Wilderness Hunter Crocker. It is up for $90. Now, McFarlane also just revealed their Killer Croc figure. That one is, I believe, 9 to 10 inches tall. This one is a 6-inch figure. So you're going to get what you get in terms of a 1/12 scale figure. You're going to get a 1/12 figure. So if you put it up next to other 1/12 figures, it's not going to be, overly sized and kind of like tower over them like you should or you would want it to. So just be aware of that. It does look amazing, and it is amazing that you can utilize it as both Killer Croc or Leatherhead, because especially I'm sure the majority of TMNT fans are crossover Batman fans, or not. I don't know. But I'm sure either way, it fits into both franchises very well. So either franchise fans can get it, and especially franchise fans that collide like that both collect TMNT and Batman, would enjoy it on your shelf. But just be aware, it is a 1/12 figure, so it is 6 inches versus, the McFarlane Toys that is 10 inches. However, the McFarlane Toys is based off the Arkham series, whereas this one's a little more comic and animated series accurate. So whatever's your cup of coffee, go with that one. It is up for pre-order now, I believe, at Big Bad Toy Store, and I believe 5K Toys should have it up as well. Shout out to Zach Oath and Diamond Select for sending me over the promotional images for the brand new Lord of the Ring figures that are in stores now. Check out the Gandalf that they have, which looks amazing. The likeness to the actor is amazing. I cannot remember his name. I know it starts with Ian, or it's Ian Malcolm, right? Or Ian McKenna? I think it's Ian McKenna. I'm probably wrong. So all you Lord of the Rings fans, roast me in the comments below. Not a big fan of it, but I do enjoy the movies and the lore and everything. I tried reading the books when I was younger. Way too big, way too much for me. I went back to Harry Potter. That's just me, though. But the movies were amazing, and I absolutely loved Elijah Wood in it and Ian McKenna. But also, thank you for sending over the images for the Orc. Now, this guy looks really fucking cool. I may have to pick up a few of these to army build because he does come with an alternate head. So you can mix and match, make him look different and make him look cool, and have him fight up against other people in your collection. I know he looks very Lord of the Ring-ish, but I think you could pull it off. So thank you also for sending over the promotional images for their new Gallery Select Iron Man comic statue. Man, this thing looks amazing. As I always say, for the price point, amazing detail, amazing coloring, amazing value. So definitely check that out if you're interested in that. But spotted at Disney Springs over in Orlando at Walt Disney World is the new Diamond Select Chewbacca figure. Zach Oath hinted at this in our interview that the next one would be coming very soon. It was going to be a tall figure, and it was going to be a trilogy figure to fit in with the other ones that they have already released. And funny enough, I was actually going to ask him if I can guess, and I was going to guess Chewbacca, and I was like, you know what, I don't know if I can say it's something or do that and stuff. And so I was like, I'm just not going to ask. So I didn't, but I was going to guess Chewbacca, and sure enough, we're getting Chewbacca, or Chewbacca's here. So so that's basically it for Diamond Select. Once again, thank you so much to Diamond Select and Zach Oath for sending over the promotional images for the first two figures and the one statue that we did look at. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on over to our final bit of news. But first, thank you so much to Man Sports Supplement for also sponsoring this channel. Check them out over at mansports.com and use code THEBAT for 10% off your order. And thank you to Legend Footwear for sponsoring this video as well. Check them out over at legendfootwear.com and use code JesseM_LGND for 10% off your order. And they are currently running a 20% off discount for their St. Patty's Day celebration. So go ahead and check them out now. Definitely recommend them. Amazing shoes, stylish, comfortable, everything you would want in a shoe, and so much more. So with that being said, let's move on into our final bit of news, NECA. So I'm sure you guys all know about Holothon by now, and I'm sure you guys all know that all the Holothon goodness from NECA is starting to trickle out into Target stores. Starting off with that Muckman and the two that I want. The Back to the Future Part 2 Griff and the 4 Turtles. Super excited about that. However, with the new Turtles, there is a new turtle stuff going on with them. I don't want to say conspiracy because it's not a conspiracy, but they are saying that they are shinier than the original green release. So I'm sure eventually, once these run out of stock, NECA will resupply them and do the same running change to them as they did with the Turtles in Disguise, in which the newer ones that are being found in stores now have a matte finish versus that shiny finish. However, they are saying that the shiny finish on these 4 new Turtles is not as shiny as the ones on the original 4 Turtles in Disguise figures. Hope you guys are still following me on that because it's a lot of information real quick. But they are still shinier than the original release of the light green turtles. So if you're a collector of that line and you're in the know, you totally understood what I was saying right there. If you're not, just don't worry about it. But yeah, so all of that is being found right now in Target stores. So go and check your local Target stores now. And last but not least, they did release final promotional images for their new The Last of Us 2 pack. And it should be shipping, I believe it said June 2022. So yeah, guys, that basically wraps up this week's episode of Coffee and Toys. That's all the news from today. That is the toy haul. That is basically what happened with last week's episode. Once again, I do apologize for not having that up. I like to stay on track and keep stuff, on deadline and whatnot. But after spending 6 hours to edit and then getting told constantly that it's not going to export immediately, and going and changing everything that you can, Googling and YouTubing and doing everything you can, and it's still saying cannot export, error occurs. It demotivated me a bit. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm always upfront and honest with you guys, and I was just like, you know what? And that's why this week I was a little off on my game too. If you noticed on Wednesday, my video was not up on time. It was up way later in the day. I just been off because of being, off on Sunday. So getting back on track now, though, it does feel like I just did this yesterday because I'm still not even done editing last week's podcast as the filming of this one. And so I hope to have it done by today so I can have it up by tonight, so it has at least Friday night and Saturday to breathe before this one goes up. But I'm not looking forward to finishing editing that one and then immediately going and editing this one, and then obviously going and editing and doing videos for this week. I know it sounds like a lot of bitching and complaining for a lot of little stuff. But we're going to get it all done. We're going to power through it. And hopefully by next week, everything's back to being on point, on deadline, and solid. So yeah, guys, super excited for this coming week's Coffee and Toys. But stay tuned for this past week's Coffee and Toys Live, where I spoke to, once again, 1/6 Shooter, all about toy photography, toy collecting, and of course the Batman movie. So that'll be coming up soon. Once again, thank you so much to all of you that have followed me over on Instagram at CoolFigurez. I have hit 1,000 followers. Thank you so much. Also, check me out over on Instagram at Epic Shots by CoolFigurez, where I do post my more thought out, planned out, more edited pics. Check me out on TikTok for my unboxings of all my figures. And of course, subscribe to me here on YouTube. The episode's not over yet. Like I said, I do have the interview with 1/6 Shooter coming up. But once again, I just want to say thank you so much to each and every single one of you that take time out of your busy day to listen and watch my episodes. I really do appreciate it. And I never know how to end these things. I always have so much fun. I just want to keep talking to you guys and rambling. So I'm just going to shut up and let you guys enjoy this week's Coffee and Toys Live. With that being said, thank you so much. And let's get on into this week's Coffee and Toys Live with 1/6 Shooter himself, Trevor. Welcome to episode 8 of Coffee and Toys here on the CoolFigurez page. And today I'd like to welcome 1/6 Shooter, Trevor. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm super excited to talk to you. I have so many questions regarding toy photography for you. So I hope you're ready for those.
I am. Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to be here, man. This is great. I've watched the show, love the show. Yeah, happy to be here.
Well, thank you, man. I really do appreciate that. Sounds good. Well,
hey,
first
what's up,
and foremost. Oh, what's up? Oh, yeah, we're starting to get some people on here.
Alan Rappa, what's up, Alan? Phil Vampire. What's up, Angel? What's going on? Yeah, cool. Got
Nice,
people
nice.
coming in.
Yep. So, first off, I always like to ask my guests, how's your week going, man? How are you doing?
Wow, I wasn't expecting that. This week's been pretty good. Yeah, I've been working on so my YouTube channel. I've been trying to do more shoot and reviews, which is where I'll take a figure, just quickly review it. I don't go into details like D-Amazing and all those guys. Just show you what you get, show it what it can do, and then put it on the table and take a shot with it. Mm-hmm. So I've been working on that, and it's been on the table for the better part of a week. I got done shooting some Mythic Legion stuff for those guys, and then I put this up, and it really hasn't moved. I think I'm done with it, hopefully tonight, and I can move on to something else. But yeah, it's been good. It's been good. How about you?
Pretty good. Pretty busy and stuff, So have you seen the new Batman movie?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, saw it last Thursday, man. Opening night.
Well, no spoilers,
but
what did you think of it? Okay, great. Yeah, you liked it?
9 out of 10, man. It was like all the way through. there was, with very minor exceptions that I can't go into without being slightly spoilery, but I don't know if it's the freshness. It's like one of those. I want to see it again. I can't wait to see it again, which doesn't always happen. Like I saw Spider-Man and I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I can't wait to see it again. I do want to see it again, but I can wait a little while. This one I want to watch again. I think I came out of it thinking, wow, I think that might have been the best Batman movie out there. And then I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
is it better than Dark Knight? Is it? Is it better
that's
than
where
Dark
I'm
Knight, or is
at.
it just the
That's where I'm at.
freshness? Yeah, it might just be the freshness. I don't know. I mean, it's very difficult because I love the Nolan films, pretty much all of them. Dark Knight, obviously, being the best of the best. But it's great, man. It's a great Detective Batman story. I mean, you can't deny that. It is probably the best detective Batman story for sure.
No, yeah, I have to say it's probably the most accurate depiction that we've gone from, any kind of Batman iteration in live action of Batman from the comics. But you make a good argument, like, but is it better than The Dark Knight? Because I love Batman, but The Dark Knight is in my top 5 all-time favorite movies. You know what I mean? It's not just a
Hmm.
Batman movie. It's like, it's that movie in particular.
Hmm.
Everything about it was just written so well. The portrayals, the casting, it was just one of those
Yep.
perfect movies that just came together, So
Yep.
I'm right there where I'm just like, it's an amazing movie, but is it better?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. I think time will tell. There's certain things that it does better. I think Frail Vampire there, Angel of Santa depicts Gotham perfectly, and I think
Hmm.
it's the most. Well, no, I mean actually, the first Nolan movie showed a lot of Gotham, and that was good. But it grounds. I mean, this is so grounded in reality. You know what I mean? Which, like, as we
Hmm.
go along with each Batman movie, it's like it gets grittier and grittier and more real. And I think this is like, I don't want to say it's backed itself into a corner, but it's going to have to pick and choose what villains it goes with, because people are talking about maybe Mr. Freeze, but maybe a more grounded, obviously not a bubble over his head, Mr. Freeze. Maybe just
Yeah.
a so it's gonna have to get real. You know what I mean? Which
No,
is
yeah.
cool. I'm gonna be interested in seeing how they do it. But you're not gonna get Killer Croc or anything, I think, in this in this iteration of Batman, which is fine.
No, yeah, but I guess we'll have to wait and see because yeah, I have heard that Matt Reeves is looking to do, not I was about to say Two Face, but no, Mr. Freeze for the next one. That's what he's looking for. But like you said, how can he ground him to a point where, he can fit into this new world that he's created?
Yeah. I've heard some sorry, I'm just adjusting this camera and I
Oh,
think I'm
you're
gonna have
good.
to
You're
turn on
good,
my
man.
lights because it's like um yeah, I've heard some people, positing some ideas, and I think, it could even follow this flood. Like maybe his wife dies in the flood or something like that, and he freezes her body to try and maybe he's taking parts from people to try to like reanimate her or something, some crazy shit like that. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
um, I'm sure they can work it into more of a crazy. I don't know if they can go with a serial killer every time, but like, I mean, what else is there going to be? I mean, it's got to be somebody who poses a threat to Gotham or to people. So it's either got to be a big thing, and I think that after having done this one with a kind of a big thing, I won't go into it, but like I don't know, maybe this will be smaller. I don't know, more intimate. I'm not sure. Not sure. Looking forward to it
Yeah.
though, for sure.
No, yeah, so am I. It could be more of like a personal level, like he's doing this kind of like more for his wife and what he needs to do, not so much like the Riddler, where he's trying to send a message and, open people's eyes up. He's just trying to do this for himself. And it just so
Right.
happens to be stuff that crosses path with Batman and whatnot.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. I think that's going to be it. Yeah, I think it's going to be a little more grounded in like a personal story and less. And I mean, Mr. Freeze has always been somebody that you're sympathetic to. You know what I mean, to some degree. His
Hmm.
methods are flawed and warped, but he's coming from it from a standpoint of just missing his wife and wanting to. And so it's going to be interesting. I think he'll probably play on something like that if he does. Topic is Batman.
What are your thoughts on them introducing Robin into this world?
Um, I mean, I got a feeling I know who might be Robin. Again, I'm not going to get spoilery. Um, there's a few choices in this movie. Maybe they won't be either one of those. Maybe they're not foretelling that. I think it could be cool. It'd be nice to get it. It'd be nice to get a detective, gritty Batman, and then get a good, gritty Robin depiction. Sans nipples and things like that.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see him done well because I don't think I've seen a depiction of him in a lot. I don't watch the Teen Titans or the Titans show, so I don't know what that's like. I know that's pretty gritty, but yeah, just haven't seen a Robin on screen that I was really like, yeah, Robin's cool.
No,
So
yeah, I feel the same way. I actually heard a theory that a good way to introduce Robin into this world, at least, would be kind of like you've seen The Incredibles, right? The Pixar film.
yeah,
You know how at the
love it.
beginning, how Mr. Incredible has, his arch nemesis is originally like his biggest fan. So they were
Hmm.
saying, what if they went that route where he has no real connection to Batman, but he's like a fan of Batman, trying to be like Batman, and the Joker or another, villain finds out and tries to kidnap him and ends up killing him, and that's what leads, Batman to, onto that path, and he was, being Robin out in the streets.
Mm. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, they played with the copycat vigilante thing before, so I'm sure they'll do something like that. But I mean, like, it looks like what they're setting up. And again, I'm trying to stay away from spoiler, but like this was in the trailers. So if you haven't seen the trailers, and at this point, if you're really trying to avoid everything, good luck. But
Yeah.
that the makeup kids, they're setting up this a little bit of the Dark Knight thing with the gangs out in the streets, the mutants from the Dark Knight Returns type of
Hmm.
thing. So, might be somebody, maybe it's somebody that's following and gets disillusioned with one of those groups or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Could be cool.
No, yeah, I'm
I'm gonna
waiting
turn
to
this
see what they
light. This
can.
is driving me crazy because I can't see my face.
You're good, man.
Keep going.
What was your overall thoughts on Robert Pattinson as Batman?
I think he did a freaking great job, man. I think everybody, just like Heath Ledger, everybody, tried to sell him short beforehand. And it's I don't avoid all the hype. I'll watch, YouTube stuff, but I do stay off, not stay off, but I just avoid like the talk on negative talk anyway on social media about this stuff
Hmm.
because it's like you don't know what you don't know, man. Like these people aren't stupid. You know what I mean? They do things for a reason. Yeah, sometimes they make mistakes. Sometimes it's not the best choice. Um, but damn, everybody he picked for this movie
Yeah.
was pitch perfect. Um, what's his name? As Alfred.
Oh,
Uh,
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis was fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic. Um,
John John Turturro was amazing in this too.
yes, 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 absolutely. I'm blanking on names now. It's been the Penguin,
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, unrecognizable, but
Hmm.
fantastic, man. I mean,
No,
and I
yes.
love the way they play that character. I think it's great. I mean, it's just enough of a look, um, without being, they're not doing camp. They're not doing, you can't with this kind of thing. It just can't be goofy. You know what I mean? It's cool.
No, yeah.
I think. Yeah, I've seen The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is crazy.
No, yeah. I'm excited to see.
He's a great actor. He's a great actor. I really, really like him. Yeah, cannot wait.
Well, hopefully we get a sequel
Am I?
sooner rather than later. What was that?
I don't know if I'm dying or if you're dying here. Like it might be my Wi-Fi. I'm not sure, but you're slowing down. Sorry, repeat that again. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was saying, hopefully we get a sequel sooner rather than later with this, new Batman series.
Yeah, yeah. I can't imagine they didn't green light it like after seeing the dailies. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if they're waiting for box office, if they haven't greenlit it by like as of last Friday, then I don't know what they're waiting for because it's obviously a hit. It's obviously
No,
great,
yeah.
but I think they must have planned on doing a trilogy. You know what I mean? You don't put that much money and get a director like that and give him, kind of carte blanche on it and not plan on doing a sequel. So
No, yeah. Did you pick up the Mezco new Batman figure?
I did. And I was really happy because it's not an exclusive and I got to use my points finally because every time I go to use my points on something, it's like,
It's an
no, no, you can't
exclusive.
use your points on that. I'm like, what am I doing? What's going on here, man? Like even the skull packs and things like that. So it was great. I had like $68 worth of points built up, so it was
Oh,
fantastic. I
nice.
was really
Yeah.
happy. But I basically got it for the price of a regular Mezco. So I don't know what that's all about. But the price, it's a little high because I
Yeah.
actually thought the 125 when they were flipping through the pictures actually had the bat signal with it, and it doesn't. So
Yeah.
I
Originally, the
don't know.
Gordon that came with the
But
bat signal was 125.
right, exactly. And I don't see what you're getting here. I know you're getting three heads, but that's not really anything different. I don't think that the Wolverine that they had with the three heads was 125. I think that was like 90 or 100, right? Wasn't it? And that came with five heads.
The new one
The
that they just
Wolverine that's
released with
coming
the
out,
new
the Tiger
base.
Stripe one. Yeah, exactly. With the base.
Yeah,
Was that
I think it was.
125?
Yeah. It might have been around like 112,
Okay.
125.
But that's a lot to that. Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
under 125, but yeah, I think you're right. Maybe it was 112. It might have been 112. Yeah, but it looks great. Um, the Hot Toys I'm looking forward to. That looks incredible. Um, there's a new Queen Studios who does a lot of statues. Just announced that they're doing a 1/6 Batman too, which is interesting. It's going to be interesting for Hot Toys to have competition. Um,
Well, I definitely look forward to all this new Batman merch.
mm-hmm.
I just hope they
Aside from the
start doing the
McFarlane
Riddler
stuff,
too.
I'm really not. Yeah, I can't imagine if they're gonna. This is gonna be an all-in thing. I think. I think if it's Mezco, I think you're gonna get the Riddler. You're gonna get Catwoman. You're gonna get Gordon, probably with the bat signal.
Ooh.
Again. Probably gonna get Penguin. That's probably the extent of it. I don't know if you'll get an Alfred or not, but it'd be nice to have an Alfred. It'd be great to have an
Yeah.
Alfred just for photography. You know what I mean? Because they're
Oh, yeah.
all you can get is the classic ones. So
Well, my wallet's crying just hearing all that.
yeah, no, tell me about it. So's my
Well,
so's my wall space.
yeah, tell me about it. I'm starting to look at stuff and like either stuff's gonna have to go into storage or be sold because yeah, I need some more wall space for the new stuff coming in.
This is the problem, and like I would see people, and I still see people that put, and it's no shame in it, but like putting stuff into bins, basically bagging them up, and all your Avengers, Marvel Legends, whatever MCU stuff goes into a bin.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, I could do that, but like, am I collecting it at that point? I mean, it's weird for me because it's like for some of the stuff I buy just to shoot. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like I
Oh
look
yeah.
at it and like, ooh, that would make a great picture. Now, do I? Well, no, 8 times out of 10, I don't end up even getting to it. But
I
um,
know that,
I
man.
still have it, and I still kind of want it out. I think I've got stuff in storage, and I completely forget what I have, and I don't even go in there to look half the time. So to me, it's like I think I got to get rid of stuff to make room instead of just putting stuff in quote unquote storage
Hmm.
to put new stuff out. You know what I mean? It's like
No, yeah.
I don't know. It seems a little crazy. Like it doesn't feel like I'm collecting it at that point. I'm just like hoarding it. You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah.
If you're keeping it in a bin, you're really kind of hoarding it. So, but I
No,
mean, not
yeah.
everybody has even the space that I have. You know what I mean? Like I have a pretty decent amount of space. Some people have a lot more. Some people quite a little bit less. You know what I mean? I look at people
Hmm.
in smaller countries that are living in flats and stuff in England that have like basically maybe you have half a room. If you have just the walls in your living room,
No, yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, currently I just have my room. That's what I'm saying. I'm running out of wall space. You can probably see all the stuff behind me. Just imagine this like on all four
It's
walls. You know
packed.
what I mean? Yeah.
It's packed. And you've
Especially with the
got
Mezco
artwork up
show.
there and stuff too, right?
Oh yeah, I have all sorts of stuff on the wall. I don't even remember what color my walls are.
Yeah, I don't even have room for artwork. I've got like posters and prints and stuff, and there's really not a lot of room for that stuff here. So it's just all shelves with stuff on it, or my table for my studio with my lights and stuff like that. So whatever, it's good.
Yeah, but yours take up a little more space too, because he seems like you have a few Hot Toys behind you.
Yeah, quite a few. So
Yeah.
kind of go on and on and on.
That's a great
Yeah, I
collection,
got a
man.
lot of Hot Toys.
What's a great collection. So, talking about your collection, man, what exactly
Yeah,
got you into collecting?
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
What got me into collecting? These got me into collecting. So this is the original, man. This has got everything in it too. This is all my stuff from when I was a kid. And yes, I'm old enough to have gotten these things when I was a kid.
Wow.
But ever since then, been a toy collector. And I quit not quit, but just didn't collect for a long time. And I think like a lot of people, when The Force Awakens came out, it kind of like reinvigorated my, because we were going to get the original people back and stuff. It kind of reinvigorated my thoughts around collecting. So I went out and bought a Hot Toys Han Solo and Chewbacca, and I figured, all right, I'll just get those two as like representative of my Star Wars fandom, and then I'm good. I'll just put those on the desk. I'll be fine. And then of course, Luke came out. I'm like, well, you got to have Luke, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like, well, then now if I've got Han and Luke, I've got to have Leia. And then it's like, oh, Ben Kenobi would be great too. And well, Darth Vader. I mean, you got to have Darth Vader. So 200 and some odd Hot Toys there.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's kind of what got me into it. So, and then it ballooned out to 1/6 is it's great on the shelf. It's tricky to shoot. It's got limitations. You want to do a lot of close-ups and stuff because building sets for 1/6 is tricky. I mean, you can do a lot of digital backgrounds and stuff like that, but you need some set pieces to offset it. And it's either expensive to make or buy, time consuming, unavailable, whatever. So that got me into sort of Black Series just to be able to shoot Star Wars stuff, you know what I mean? A little bit more of an environment thing, which led me into Marvel Legends, which led me into Mythic Legions, which led me into, Plunderlings and everything else that's all hanging around here.
So do you have a certain line that you prefer to collect? Like you said, you kind of got into Black Series because you wanted to shoot it more, but do you prefer the Hot Toys version of Star Wars or do you prefer the Black Series version?
That's a good question. For shooting, I don't know. That's a tricky question. I think it just depends on the kind of shot. I really love shooting the Hot Toys because of the details. They just have, beautiful. You can't beat it. You know what I mean? Like you can light it like a person and it just looks great. I mean, they look beautiful. You don't get that shininess, of the plastic that you have to contend with. Then again, you're not getting big action shots with those things. You're not doing a wide frame image of a lot of figures unless it's still a very tight shot. So, it's got its advantages and disadvantages. I wouldn't say that I prefer one over the other. I mean, people will say I've been shooting a lot more 1/12 than 1/6 lately, but it's not really true. Not really true. It's probably pretty even.
Okay, that sounds interesting. So would you say that Black Series is your favorite line to collect, or is there another, or I'm sorry, Star Wars your favorite line to collect, or is there another franchise you prefer to collect over Star Wars?
Uh, franchise-wise, I mean, I don't know if you're going to count the Mythic Legion stuff as a franchise. They're their own
Yeah.
franchise. Yeah, so it's got to be Mythic Legions. I mean, as soon as I picked up a Mythic Legions figure, I was hooked, man. And I've seen it happen with people. Like, um, at least 5 people in the last month have told me, DM me and said, I just got my first figure. I took it out. Holy crap. How did I not get these before? These are, I'm like, I know. This is what happens. You open it up, you start moving it around, you play with it. It's solid. It's cool looking. They're generally very detailed and they're just fun to pose. You know what I mean? It's like you get hooked, and I got hooked on that quick, man. I mean, I love fantasy art. I love
Hmm.
Boris Vallejo. I love Frank Frazetta, the Hildebrandt brothers, and all that classic fantasy artwork. So there was nothing out there like that. I saw it on Instagram. Somebody shot, one of the knights, one of the Templar knights. I was like, oh my
Mm.
God, there's like 6-inch knight figures out there. How do I not know about this?
Yeah.
Which sucked me right in. So that was it. Like that hooked me. They're my favorite figure line. I mean, okay, working for the company notwithstanding, they would still be my favorite figure. But as far as like a franchise outside of, that everybody sort of knows, a wide one, yeah, it would probably be Star Wars. It's probably the most I have, figures of, honestly.
Nice, nice. Well, talking about Mythic Legions and you working with them, man, do you want to kind of tell us about how that came about? Like how you got to, go from, purchasing their figures, loving them.
Nope. Yeah, you're slowing down. I don't know if it's me or you. I hate to
I'm not
hesitate
sure.
to change my internet connection because I don't want to mess it up. But anyway, yeah. So it kind of came about. I was doing work with Exclu magazine for a while. Jack, who's on Instagram, and that was going good. And we wanted to interview them because I started collecting the figures, and I'm like, well, get in and talk with these guys and see what's going on via an interview. I went to a toy show in New Jersey that they were doing, and I had just posted a shot I did with an orc on a throne with a diorama that I had made with light coming through the window over the top of it, and they had seen it, and they're like, "Oh my
Hmm.
God, that was your shot! Oh my God, it's so cool!" So we, just got started talking to him, and I did set up like an interview, and then I sent them a couple prints. Yeah, I was having a little bit of a dialogue back and forth with them with email. Sent them a couple of prints for the office of the stuff because we had been talking about the pictures. And then they invited me to their, they call it G-Con, which is kind of, they don't go to San Diego Comic-Con anymore. It's just too expensive.
Hmm.
And, it's like what everybody's doing now. They're doing their own home. They were kind of ahead of the game on that. They're doing their own con. They do it online and they
Mm.
have a few people in the studio. So they invited me to the studio and that was it. I just started talking to them and they're like, hey, would you like to do some photos? We need to redo the photos. I kind of worked it a little bit. I kind of like said, hey, you could really do some upgrade on some of these photos because they were basically just taking them themselves, in the
Mm.
back room with with some not so great lighting. And it's like I'm like your figures deserve more. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
They need to look like the kind of shots that I'm taking, and they agreed. So that was that.
So do you have like a background in photography, or is that just like a hobby you had been doing prior to toy photography and you carried that over, or did you learn it through toy photography?
I will say that I've learned a lot more through toy photography than I did beforehand. I did use cameras for product shots in the past because I'm in marketing. So
Mm.
occasionally we'd have to shoot a product without having to, the client didn't have a budget for professional photography, to take it into a studio to have a half a day rate for somebody to shoot the product. So we just have to take it into the studio that we had in the office. And so I kind of learned I did take it in college, but I hesitate to say there was still film back then. And I hated it. hated it. So, I mean, digital cameras were just coming on the market, and they weren't very good. They were, those three megapixels and 2 megapixel cameras that were terrible. So yeah, I would say the majority of what I've learned by just before toy photography and since I've been doing toy photography. Yeah, I really dived into a lot of different aspects, and just doing it will make you kind of stretches you, right? You have to learn new techniques. You have to really have to learn the camera. I mean, I never really shot in anything but manual, because I was, I just figured, like, if I don't know how to use the camera, like, I shouldn't be relying on, I like control too. So that's what gives you the most control. Yeah.
No, that's great, man. That's great. So that's pretty cool how that kind of turned into a job for you. You went from just doing it as a cool little hobby, and it turns out now you're actually doing it for Mythic Legion. So that's actually really cool. And that's actually cool that you actually would, still support them and still say that those are your favorite figures despite working with them or not working with them. That says a lot for those figures. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've been personally avoiding them, only because I know they're great figures, and I know it's going to be another rabbit hole, more money down the drain for me. And it's just like,
Jesse, I'm going to get you to buy one, or I'm going to send you one, and then you're going to be hooked, man. That's what I do.
Dude. Please don't. My wallet.
Suck people in.
I hope my girlfriend's not watching.
Because... Yeah, it's well, I mean, I would say that whether I was working for them or not. I mean, they're great. First of all, it's a great line. Honestly, it's a great value. If you look at what you're paying, especially with prices climbing. I mean, their prices went up like $2 in the last iteration of figures that they put out. But they still have Legion builders, which you get far more pieces and far more detailed work than you do on any Marvel Legend for the same price, for $27. You know what I mean? So, the more detailed ones are in the 30s, the $32, $34, but they're incredible, and you get all these accessories with them and stuff. So, first, it's a great figure. Second of all, they're great people. They're a great company. They're really connected to their fans. There's a whole con that takes place in New Jersey now called Legion's Con. There was the second one was just last year. They're there. They're hanging out. They're looking at. There's a whole world of custom parts, like people making a living off third-party parts. And then instead of being like Sideshow or one of these companies that says you can't make an extra head for your your Batman or your whatever, they embrace it. As long as you follow the rules that they've set out, that you don't do certain things, they're all over it. That's great. You got to buy a figure to put a new head or a new shield or so it's smart. You know what I mean? Like, why?
Oh yeah.
Why trash that? Why throw that away? Like, when people are just going to buy more of your figures to make customs. Custom world in Mythic Legions is huge. So it's fun. It's a fun toy line, and they're great guys. And it's a good gig. It's fun.
No, I'm sure it is,
man.
They kind of give me,
they give me some leeway too with some of the, the images. They trust people that they have working for them to do what they know best. They don't try to micromanage stuff like that. So it's cool.
Well, I mean, when you put out shots like you, man, I don't think they want to mess with your process and everything. I think they just want you to give them what you can give them, because everything you put out is pretty well done. So I don't think they need to worry about you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, do you have any, advice that you can give anybody that's a beginner to toy photography, or just starting out, or wants to start out, or anything like that?
I would say don't go into, if you're starting out with it, don't go into buying a camera yet. I mean, unless it's something you're going to use for other things. If you're strictly buying it for toy photography, try it with your phone. Phones have incredible cameras on them now. Yeah, you don't have the control that you do on a DSLR or a mirrorless or something like that, but why spend because you don't want to buy a cheap camera either. You know what I mean? If you're going to buy something, you want to spend minimum $700 to get a decent camera with a decent kit lens on it. So why do that if you don't even know if you're going to enjoy it yet? You know what I mean? Like, just,
Oh yeah.
ease into it. I say that, but when I came in, I wanted to have, I wanted to blow up. I just wanted to be, it's my nature. And I know there's people like that, but you're going to pay the price. You're going to pay your lumps. You're not going to skyrocket overnight. You're going to have that one shot that somebody sees that kind of gets you going and gets some following going for you. So ease into it. I would say invest in maybe a set, or take some time to build a set, because you're going to have a lot more fun, I think, if you've got some backgrounds and stuff, some props to put in with your figure, as opposed to just putting it on a black background. Or, digital backgrounds are great, but I tend to make the digital background very minimal in my shots. Like, if I use a digital background, I try to keep it to maximum 40% of the shot, usually more like 25% of the shot. I'll have things in front of it. I'll have it peek, a background peeking through a window or something, and that's it for the digital. Try not to get too crazy with it. So invest in a set. And then the next thing I would say is you don't even have to get expensive lights. Get some cheap LED lights from Amazon for, $15-20 a piece. Nothing great. Find out if you like it. Watch. Okay, this is the biggest. Go onto YouTube and watch videos on lighting people, lighting faces, portrait lighting. Because there's all kinds of, that's the basis, man. Like, you're shooting little people, and you want them to look. So there's basics there of backlighting, rim lighting, a 3/4 shot, all sorts of different lighting techniques. Trying to think of it, Rembrandt lighting and things like that, and just learn that stuff, and then just try to do that in your shots. Like, try to recreate that in a simple shot, and you're going to learn over time what works. Look at behind the scenes stuff. I put up behind the scenes stuff all the time. I have a whole bunch of videos on my YouTube that shows you every aspect of what I'm doing and why. So watch that stuff, study that stuff, and then go and try it.
No, yeah, that's some great info, man, and advice. And yeah, I personally shoot exclusively off my phone. Like, I don't have a DSLR or anything like that, and I find it perfectly fine, So, phone cameras have definitely come a long way.
Phone? I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't even know
thank
that.
you,
That's
thank
great.
you. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean,
and when I first started out,
you can do incredible. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, when I first started out, I started shooting outside and stuff. But then once I did invest in a set, I was able to do a lot more and have a lot more fun with it as well.
Right. Yeah, you could do, these cameras on these phones, if you get an app, I think the basic phone app that you get with your phone, depending on what kind of phone you have, is you could do stuff with it, but there's some great apps out there that'll allow you to do a lot more and, get a little more control over the camera that you're using. And, shooting outside is an option too. I started out doing a lot of stuff outside, and I found out that I really hated it.
So do I, man. So do I.
It's control, right? You don't have any control over your light. You can bounce light. You can bring out cards and stuff like that to bounce the sunlight, but you're basically a slave to the cloud cover, time of day,
and the weather,
the environment that you're in, the weather. Yeah, it's way too many variables for me. You know what I mean? This is not something I can take a day and do. You know what I mean? I've got a window of maybe 4 hours a day at night, if I'm not doing it for work, to do this. So I like the control. I can recreate sunlight pretty well in the studio, sometimes to the point where you can't tell that it's not. And that's just learning. But there is a feeling to outside shots that you can't reproduce. And I think for things like Lego shots, or the people who do, I hesitate to use this word, but I'll use it because I can't think of anything else, but the cuter shots, Nendroid type stuff, and, just that fun, it's a toy in a real world type of thing. That's great. It's just not my style, so it doesn't really work.
No, yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah, I had one too many spiders crawl on me while I'm trying to shoot toys outside, and I was like, you know what, I gotta invest in a set. I gotta go inside. You know,
Yeah,
I'm gonna shoot
yeah,
inside
yeah,
now.
yeah. Or the damn wind, man. Oh my God. So many
Oh
times I've
yeah.
had things blow over, you know. You're trying to do a delicate balance with something and like just a gust of wind and it's all yeah, no.
No, yeah. So you kind of touched upon lighting already, and you know that was another question I had for you. I need the lighting tips and stuff, and I do want to say thank you
Mhm.
because you did mention your videos that you're shoot and review ones, and I watched your Razor
Yeah.
Crest one, and I saw how you were talking
Oh,
about adding the blue light versus the warm tone of the sunlight, and I tried doing that with a few of my shots, and yeah, it significantly increases that shot and it makes it look a lot better. You get those nice blue outlines, not too harsh, but it just balances it out really well. So thank you for that. That helped improve my toy
awesome.
photography personally.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I mean it's that's the other thing. I mean you're going to get into more and more stuff as you go along that you don't even think of as a thing. And color theory is a thing. Like, I mean, your complementary colors, your contrasting colors like orange and blue. Like, it's a great combination. You know what I mean? Red and
Hmm.
yellow can be good. Purple and red. You know what I mean? It's just learning that and playing with it. But yeah, I mean that's a good go-to if you're using warm light and you want some contrast, or you just want to offset it. Because that shot that I was doing, I didn't have a blue light in there first, and I was really going all the warm tones, and it was getting monotonous. You know what I mean? Literally monotonous, monotone. It was
Hmm.
way too orange, and it just needed something to offset it. Even though there's a little bit of basis in reality of that because in twilight you'd have like a sort of an overhead sky that's starting to get stars and be a little bit darker and stuff. So it's not going to glow blue, but when you look at the shot, it doesn't scream like this is artificial. You know what I mean? It just
Hmm.
has a fantasy painterly quality. They do this in movies. You know what I mean? I mean,
No, yeah.
so it works.
No, yeah. It looks really nice, man. That blue, the little highlights, it looked like it fit perfectly into the little crevices of the Razor Crest and everything. It looked amazing. That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
took that and I tried on a few of my shots, and yeah, it definitely ups the contrast, definitely ups the photo. So thank you for that tip.
Cool. Cool. Good. Yeah. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
all
I
sorts of
actually
little
really
stuff
enjoy
in those
those
things.
videos. Yeah, I enjoy all
Thank
those
you.
videos that you put up because, like you said, that's the way to get better. You have to watch other people, especially people that are better than you. And thankfully, there's people like you that are one better than me, and also take the time to create videos to inform and tell us all the stuff that you do in your process and everything.
Yeah, and it's nothing like again like the people who say, "Oh, I got to keep my secrets." I still have some secrets. There's some post processing stuff that I do, but I mean, I didn't invent bouncing light. You know what I mean? But I've seen so many people have so many people tell me like, "Wow, I didn't even think that was a thing." Like I thought I had a like if I was going to light it, I had to light it over here, and then I had to light it over here, and I'm like, no, you can use one light, use a bounce card over here to bounce that light, and you're going to get a nice soft reflection off of that. So it's not going to be a harsh, too harsh lights coming in. It's going to be a nice soft, semi-shadowy light over here, and a nice bright rim light, backlight over there. And it's like it's eye-opening when you see that
No,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. But you don't even think about that because when you're even watching some things about portrait lighting or you're watching somebody shoot somebody, you don't see the guy off camera holding the reflector, up to the
Hmm.
model's face to get that soft light bouncing. So it's not even a thing that you really even know is there unless you sit and watch videos and, about portrait lighting or lighting products and things like that, tabletop products. All great information that you can totally transform into toy photography. It all transfers. It's all good stuff. So yeah, I have no problem like sharing that stuff because if you don't find it from me, you'll find it from somebody else.
Well, I appreciate it, man, because not only do we enjoy your toy photography, it's great, but then you also get to break it down. And I think a lot of people like that. Not only do they enjoy the art that you put out, but they enjoy seeing the process of you putting together that art. You know what I mean?
I think most people enjoy seeing the behind the scenes almost as much as they enjoy seeing the picture. It's interesting. This guy Felix Hernandez kind of turned me on to that. He's a great he started out as kind of a toy photographer, sort of, and he's since moved on to. He still does miniatures, but he builds these sets. Check him out if you're on Instagram. He's on there. It's Dream. Oh God, I'm going to screw this up. Hernandez Dream Faux. Damn it, I forget. Anyway, Felix Hernandez. Look up Felix Hernandez. You'll find him. But he does these behind the scenes that are like cinematic. Like he films these things beautifully. He has somebody come in and they pan and then he's sitting at the table and he's working on a model, like a car model, and he's building the set and it's cuts and it's beautifully done. And you know, he doesn't put out a picture every day or every other day or even every week sometimes. Could be weeks between those, but you get that beautiful cinematic behind the scenes, and that's what people love to see. They love to see that. They want to see the magic. They want to see how you make the magic. You know what I mean? It's like, I saw the trick. I want to know how it's done, because that's fascinating. You know?
No, yeah, especially when you can really make like action figures and miniatures look like they're real life things and stuff like that. You know, people really want to see how it is that you do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. I love watching people's stuff, man, because I learn stuff all the time.
No, yeah, and that's what I think that's why they love it. You know, it's the information that they get from it. You know, not only are they seeing amazing artwork, but they're also learning something, you know. And like I said, I was able to not only see your amazing review and shot of the Razor Crest, but also learn something and apply it to my own work, that I realized, okay, now I do need to learn some color theory so that way I can play with lights and different colors in my shots.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. It's just another tool in the bag, man. And, you know, you start putting it together and you pick and choose what you need for each shot. And, you know, suddenly you're just going to, there's times when I forget about things and I'm like, oh, you know what I could do? Yeah, I haven't done that in a while. Maybe let me try that. So, yeah, it's all good.
So do you usually find yourself taking multiple shots of one thing, or, you know, leaving it, coming back, or what is your process like, man?
Hundreds. So I use a lot of fog in my shots. I've always, like, ever since I started using it, I used it for effect mainly, like to get, you know, ground cover on a shot, like in a mysterious forest type of thing. But the more I used it, the more I kind of like let it just kind of dissipate into the shot. And I love the way that it kind of gives it an atmospheric, ethereal, almost painterly feel to it. So I can't remember, there's very few shots at this point that I don't use fog for. Even if you don't see fog in it, billowing it up or anything like that in it, there's some fog in it no matter what. So when you do that and you're taking multiple shots, first of all, I use a long exposure because I want the fog to sort of just, you know, fade. I don't want to get like little wisps of smoke coming up necessarily. It depends on the shot. So if I shoot at 2 seconds exposure, I don't know where I was going with this, but I've got it. So the fog is going to be different from shot to shot, right? So I've got to do a lot of shots to get it in the place that I want it. Now, I can take it into Photoshop. I can layer it. I can take the pieces out that I want, you know, put a little more fog in from one layer, take it out from another layer. But I still end up taking dozens, if not hundreds, sometimes of shots just to get that, because you have no control. You know what I mean? You don't really have too much control over the fog. Like, you can sort of direct it, but it goes where it wants to, and then you start flipping through shots, and it's just going to be that one thing where you go, ooh, it fell perfectly right there. That looks really good. So, yeah, hundreds of shots. I sometimes leave things up. Like I said, I've had this Nosferatu one up. I think I've shot this, and I say shot it. I've shot it 3 times, changing things 3 times. So I go back, edit it, look at it, go, you know what? I should move that thing. This should be a little lower. I don't like the way the light is hitting that. I go back to it. I shoot it again. Didn't quite get it right. Go back to it. So, I mean, occasionally I can nail it and leave it on the table, which again is kind of a luxury. I know a lot of people shoot on their kitchen tables and stuff like that. So,
No, yeah. Is that the new
Kind of
Nosferatu
tough.
that
But
Mezco
yes,
just
to answer your
released?
question, a lot. Yeah. I got the original one, and this one I like this one. I like the colors in his face. I like the different expressions on him. It's really cool. I love the bats. The bats are featuring in the
Yeah.
shot, which is it's so cool. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
I
good
didn't
figure.
get the first one, so yeah, I definitely had to pick this one up.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like the only thing you're missing really is the coffin, which is kind
Hmm.
of cool. But I mean, I've seen a lot of shots with that. You know what I mean at this point. So I don't know that I'd ever take one with it. Maybe if an idea struck me, but I really like the wolves and the bats. I think are a lot more
Yeah.
versatile because I mean you can use the bats with the Batman shot. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like they're nice. It's nice accessories. Sometimes these Mezco come with some great stuff that you want to use all over the place. This is definitely one of them.
No, yeah, definitely. So speaking on Mezco, do you have a favorite Rumble Society character?
Yep. Doc Nocturnal for sure. Doc
Yeah,
Nocturnal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
I
prefer the
love
original
that.
release or the Red Death?
I like the original. I like the black. I didn't get the Red Death one, actually. It's one of the few alternates that I didn't get. I got both of the Baron Dens. I got this is the second Nosferatu, right? Or was there another one?
Yeah, not the second one,
Was
I
there?
think.
Was there? Yeah. So that was the only one I skipped. I didn't really like the red. I don't know. I just didn't. I don't know. It does look cool. I've seen some people take some shots with it. It looks good, but yeah, I love Doc Nocturnal. He's got that pulp fictiony. It kind of fits in with my, I think, with my the genre that I like to shoot. You know, it opens you up to very like pulp fiction covers and things like that, which is basically what I've done with him. So, and I got another shot in mind. I just need to get some props for him. But yeah, he's cool. What's yours? What's your?
Probably Doc Knock too, man. I absolutely love him.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
right.
just a great
It's just a
figure,
great
he's
figure.
just so much about it.
He moves well. It looks
Hmm.
cool. He's got all those little gadgets and stuff. But it's the great, and it's versatile. Like you put the different head
Hmm.
on him, like the one. I don't know if you got the kit with the head with like the
No, I don't.
vampire hunter kit. Well, even that, like you put another skull, like one of the the skull kits that they sell. You
Hmm.
put that on him, and he looks great. You know, it's just so much you can do with him. It's really fun.
No, yeah, I absolutely love him. He has all those, accessories, all the weapons and stuff. And then even in this comic, he's very Batman-y. You know what I mean? I think that's what I love about him so
Yeah, yeah,
much. He's very Batman. He
yeah.
has his cave, he has his car, he has his plane and everything, and his
Yep.
gadgets.
It's
He even
cape.
has a little,
Yeah.
little butler and everything. So,
Yeah. He's totally Batman.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know if
that's a
you
good
got
figure.
Atticus too.
I do. Yeah, he's coming tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So I won't say anything because I saw something in the comic book that kind of connects to stuff we're talking about, but I won't spoil anything for you then.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
usually those
So,
things usually get spoiled for me beforehand anyway. But yeah, that's cool. I'll check it out.
yeah, let me know when you see it because it connects it to Doc Knock. So just let me know when you see it.
Awesome.
So,
I knew there would be they. I mean, they connect pretty well. I mean, that's the same genre. That's that sort of pulp horror feel. So they're perfect together.
no, yeah, I'm super excited to see what else they can bring to us in 2022 because it's only the start. So hopefully, Atticus is just the beginning of Rumble in 2022.
Yeah, I would like to see more things like that and less Gomez, honestly. But I'm sure we're going to get a lot of Gomez. Kind of Gomezed out, honestly.
No, yeah, there are a lot of Gomez's.
I got them all. Not all, but almost all.
All right, so talking about toy photography and everything, lighting is a big part of it, but another big part of it is posing, and you do that exceptionally well as well, man. So, what are your tips for
Okay.
posing figures?
Well, I mean, tips wise, I push things to the limit. Like, I mean, you can't be too afraid to. I mean, I don't want to break anything, but I really do
Hmm.
like right up to breaking them. I will put them into some crazy poses. I would say it's the thing that sells is a natural pose, right? Whether it's an action pose or whether it's just somebody literally just like reaching out, or touching another figure's shoulder or something like that. Like, put yourself. I've seen people say this. It's kind of a normal thing. Put yourself in front of a mirror, or even just do it in the room. I'll do this all the time. Like, if I've got a guy that I want like to look like he's like really like swinging this sword, I'm like, I'm putting myself into position. I'm seeing how my legs naturally go as I've got this sword over my shoulder, and that's it. Like, you just look at yourself and go, oh, okay, that's it. So let me just stand here, grab the figure. It's kind of left knees forward, the back knees bent, the right knee's bent a little bit, but backwards from the left foot. So that's it. Like, just look at yourself, do the pose that you want, and copy that. The other thing is you can look at source material like comic books or movie stills or whatever, and just mimic that if you want. To mimic something. If you're just looking for that dynamic kick pose, for Batman or Spider-Man or something like that. Plenty of comic book reference for that. But watch especially with walking, there's a way people walk. It's been, if you're in ACBA, this. It's been drilled into your head. If your left foot is going forward, then your right arm is.
Sorry, could you say that again?
No, Siri.
Sorry.
Okay, Siri. If your left foot is forward, then your right arm is going to be forward and your left arm is going to be back. So you just got to watch that, or it's not going to look natural. So there's some things that just don't look natural. And I would say if anything looks off to you, try it yourself and see what happens. Because if you can't get your foot to that angle when the leg is like this, then it's not a natural pose and it's going to stand out and look weird. So.
No, yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So you talked about ACB. I'm sorry, I can't remember the acronym. The articulated comic book art, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I kind of tuned into your live stream that you were on last night, and you kind of mentioned that they're kind of anti Photoshop, and they're really into like hiding the stand and stuff. So I was just wondering, what are your tips on hiding the stand in practical shots?
Yeah, I will dispel that they're not. They're not anti-Photoshop, but they like to. The whole idea of it, I think of it as like like if you're a painter, you could be a painter, and if you were into like cubism, you'd be a cubist. If you were into surrealism, you're a surrealist, and if you're into ACBA, then this is what you do. There's certain parameters, there's certain rules. So they don't like to Photoshop out stands. They don't care if, and I keep trying to get people to stop using Photoshop as a term for adding effects and editing out stands, because Photoshop should be used no matter what. It's a tool to make your photos look better, whether or not you hide the stands or don't hide the stands, or add effects or don't add effects. I know it's a bit of a diatribe, but it's like, it's just one of my things. Like, Photoshop is not bad, you know what I mean? Like, even if you take a picture of a figure on a green screen and Photoshop the entire background, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a different type of style. It's a little more photo illustration, I would say, than strict toy photography, but it's just another aspect of it. Anyway, to get back to your question, hiding stands. I'm not the greatest expert on this. I basically just, I don't know. I work with it until I can find a way to do it. There's guys in ACBA who will, like, you'll take some, smoke effect, or, if they're on the street and some guy's falling over, you put a fire hydrant, somewhere where it kind of blocks the stand that the guy's got behind him. You know what I mean? It still looks like he's falling way over there, but way up here is a fire hydrant that kind of hides the stand. So you can do things like that. I don't like to compromise the shot. If there's something that I don't want to be there, I'm not going to put it there just to hide the stand. I'm going to find a better way to hide the stand, or I'm just going to say, you know what, I give up and I'm going to Photoshop this out because there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it to me, but if you're strict ACBA and you don't want to do it, then there are other ways to do it. You can, stick a stand in your, if you want to stick it in your dio way in the back there and have it come straight out and just kind of, go around the arm or up the side of the figure or something like that. And so you can't see it from the angle of the camera. I've done that before. I've done it to extremes, but I mean, there's multiple ways to do it. I'd say, find some objects to use. Again, I don't like to compromise an idea I have in my head to accommodate that, but I will try to do it. If I can figure out a way to do it, that's not going to take me, hours and hours and hours, then I will definitely try to comply with that. So I would say the best learning you can do is ACBA, the Articulated Comic Book Art website. If you get on there, observe at first, look at people's, they call them C-sides, which is the BTS. Look at those, look at how they hide them. Because when you start posting on ACBA, you will definitely get feedback, whether you want it or not.
Well, that sounds good, man. I definitely have to look into that because I can definitely take some pointers and criticism to improve my own toy photography. I can always learn from other people.
It's good for that. You just have to be open to it. And some people are a little bit better at giving critique and suggestions than others. Sometimes people will just be harsh, but if you got thick skin, it's fun. It's fine.
I feel like if you're willing to put your artwork out there, you have to have somewhat of a thick skin because, not everybody's going to agree with that it's good or that it's bad. There's always going to be both.
Right. Just to go back to that, Plastic Thunder. Wait, is it Plastic Thunder? I can't scroll back here. Yeah, I think that's it. That's who it is. Natural way to hide stands is lining stands up with vertical objects. Yep, it's kind of what I was talking about with like a hydrant or something like that of similar color. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, you can mimic the color of an object around it, or even the background. If it's on a dark background, you got a black stand. Maybe you add some fog in there or something like that, and pretty much those stands can disappear. Yeah.
Joe D125 wants to know if does the aerosol affect soft goods? I don't think it does it?
The fog that I use a fog machine, like it's just a cheap, got it on Amazon for $35, party fog machine, DJ type thing. Atmosphere aerosol is something that I tried out and I don't really like. Outdoors, it's fine, but even outdoors, I find it leaves a film on the figures, which with a plastic figure, you can wash it off, I guess, if you want to. I don't like it around like 1/6 more expensive or Mezco, type figures that you don't really want to like put under, the sink. To clean up.
Yeah.
It's got a smell to it indoors. And what I find about it is it's great for that, to create sort of an overall mist, but it doesn't do anything that the fog can't do, because I can blow the fog around. I have it coming out of a tube and I can just blow it into the scene. And it's pretty much the same thing as atmosphere aerosol. So if you want to get those nice like God rays and things like that through a window, the fog will do that. I know atmosphere aerosol handles that pretty well. You can spray it right into that area. But I find it will leave a film. I'm not trying to like knock it or say don't use it. Try it out. Just wasn't my thing. So, but on soft goods, I don't know. But the fog I use doesn't. So.
Well, that's some good information. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Any future plans for 2022 in terms of toy photography? What do you have lined up? I know you were talking about already having a shot ready for Nosferatu and stuff, and having one in the works for Doc Knock. But anything else you want to talk about that you have in the works?
Nothing in the works. I mean, I keep a list of ideas, and I sometimes go back to those. Generally, something fresh comes into my mind, and that takes over. I do have May 4th coming up, and every May 4th I usually do a Star Wars shot that I try to do something fairly involved. and I was just talking about this yesterday. I have an idea for one that I've had for years and didn't get to. All the other ones that I've done in the meantime have been pretty involved, but this one's probably going to be the most involved, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off this year or not. I'm not really sure. I see it all in my mind, but actually making it work, I just know is going to be, I could be going down a deep hole. I don't know. So I got to do something because I do something every year, and I don't want it to just be something like kind of simple and throwaway. But it's getting harder and harder to. I mean, I think they've gotten better and better. So I would say for me at least, I'm not saying that they're works of incredible art or anything like that, but it's getting harder for me to top them as the years go by. You know what I mean? It's getting tough, and there's a lot of pressure on it. It's self-imposed pressure, which maybe I'll just take this year off. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I'm sure whatever you
probably
do
do an Obi-Wan shot.
Yeah, tie it in with a new series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure whatever you give us, or if you take the year off, man, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be great. You always take some amazing toy photography pics. So if you ever have some free time and you want to collaborate with the shop, man, I would love to collaborate with you. So just let me know if you have some free time to do that.
For sure. Definitely. Yeah. Maybe we'll do a Doc Knock.
Sounds good, man. I'd definitely be into that. So just let me know. DM me on after the show, and we'll set something up.
Cool. Nice. Awesome. Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to talk about, man?
Sure. No, not much. There's, I've been shooting a lot of Mythic Legion stuff for those guys. There's some cool stuff coming out. I know everybody wants me to spill the beans. Vicky Smalls is like, I'm not going to do it. It's actually kind of fun that people like, it's got to be hard to keep the secret, but it's almost like when you have kids at Christmas, like, you know what they're getting, and you can't wait to see the look on their face when they open it up. So it's like, that's what it's like. Like, I can't wait for people to see it, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Other than that, just working on the YouTube channel. I got a Mythic Legion show on every other Monday with Corona 4 and the Dorklair, Bill Janowski and Nate Strong. All Mythic Legions. Every other Friday before that, we have the 1/6 pack, which, we talk about 1/6 figures with Tom Iavawatu and TJ Capes and Rifles, two other great toy photographers. And yeah, I'm trying to do, some more stuff on the YouTube show with some shooting reviews. I just got to 1,000 subscribers last week, which was really cool.
Oh, nice. Congrats, man.
Doing a giveaway with a Loom. Thank you. We're doing a Loom Cube giveaway, so a whole Loom Cube kit, which will probably happen in the next couple of weeks. Gonna have a big show around that. Yeah, just trying to get that going because it's going pretty well. And so, I really want to do some more. I really want to do some more behind the scenes stuff, but it takes a long time to edit these videos. So.
No, yeah, tell me about it. I just spent 6 hours editing a video on, what was it, Saturday, and then it didn't want to export, so now I got to re-edit it and redo it, everything. So, yeah. The fun
it's
stuff
a lot of work,
on YouTube.
People don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. It's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah,
the live
short
like
video
is great because it's easy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well,
Stuff.
I definitely
it's
look
a lot of
forward
work.
to those, man.
Thanks.
Are you there?
I think we're on a little delay. Yep.
Yeah, are you there?
Still
Okay,
there.
cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead and say what you were going to say.
No. It's a lot of work. I do. You look at people who do a lot of it. D Amazing and Jay Hernandez and all those guys, and it's like I understand now. It's not easy. it's
Yeah, no, it's time consuming. It definitely is.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like a second job sometimes.
Yeah, and I don't have, I spent a lot of time in the first job, so it's enough.
No, yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for spending this time with me and coming on to the show. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all the advice on toy photography. Like I said, I can always use more tips and tricks to get better at it. I can always learn. And so thank you so much. Like I said, you put out some
You're
amazing
welcome.
toy photography. No matter what you put out, everyone's gonna love, because like you see, obviously Mythic Legions loved it enough to where they offered you a job and everything. So anything you put out, I'm sure it's gonna respond well. And I look forward to your shooting reviews and stuff. And like I said, let me know when you're ready to collab, and I'll be ready to do that with
for
you.
sure.
And once again, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it, man. And I do look forward to your next shot that you're gonna post.
You got it. Thanks, man. Thanks for everybody for coming.
All right, take it easy, man. Have a good night.
See ya.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 8 of Coffee and Toys Live. And thank you so much to Trevor of 1/6 Shooters. Thank you so much to all the tips. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much to all of you, whether you're watching live, the replay, or the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for all of you that have liked, comment. Like I always say, I'm sorry I don't always look at the comments. I try to stay engaged with my guests so that way I don't lose track or focus and stuff. So next week, join me for episode 9 of Coffee and Toys Live, where I will be speaking to Sir Dork about his brand new toy photography con. We're going to go into all sorts of details about that, all sorts of stuff about toy photography, action figures, and so much more. You're not going to want to miss it, guys. So once again, follow me over on Instagram at CoolFigurez and Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. Follow me over on TikTok for all my unboxings at CoolFigurez. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube at CoolFigurez. Thank you so much, each and every single one of you that have liked, shared, comment, and subscribed. I really do appreciate it. As always, I've been your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, a.k.a. the Buff Collector. And as always, have a good fucking night.
Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed those pics, you can find the full images over on Instagram at CoolFigurez. And I do have a separate Instagram account for my more thought out, planned out, more edited pics called Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. Check it out if you like what you see. Leave me a follow there as well. And if you guys want to see the unboxing of any figures I do reviews on for this channel, go ahead and check me out over on TikTok at CoolFigurez. That's where I post all my unboxings. And join me every Sunday morning for Coffee and Toys, a weekly toy news, toy talk podcast where we will go over all the latest and great toy news, reveals, pre-orders, and so much more. If you did enjoy this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. But whether or not you're a subscriber, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to me talk about toys. I really appreciate it. As always, I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you so much to this channel sponsor, V-Rare Store. Check them out for all your Funko Pop, anime, Pokemon card, and toy print needs. And of course, use code CoolFigurez at checkout for 10% off your order. V-Rare Store. Check them out, guys.